present were General of Infantry von Olbricht, Dr. Carl-Goodyear, former mayor of Leipzig, Admiral Wilhelm Canaris, Chief of Military Intelligence, and his aide, Colonel Hans von Dochnani. General Beck, who had resigned as Chief of Staff in protest against Hitler's methods, was the acknowledged head of the group. With Beck, last to arrive on forged travel orders from the Russian front, was Major General Henning von Treschkow, with his aide, Colonel Fabian von Schlabrendorf. Neither man was a career officer. Von Treschkow was a stockbroker, von Schlabrendorf a lawyer.
The Golden Age of Television presents David Wayne in Operation Spark, after these messages. The Golden Age of Television presents Operation Spark.
In less than a year, the fatherland will be on its knees. So, in the face of total disaster, we have decided the moment has come for the total solution.
We are going to assassinate Adolf Hitler.
It's a grave mistake.
Assassination was not our plan.
My oath of allegiance to the Fuhrer makes it impossible for me. I'm a Wehrmacht officer.
A dead Hitler would relieve you and the entire officers' corps of that oath, General Olbricht.
Sir, this was not in our agreement.
Assassination, even of a criminal tyrant, is still murder. I must protest.
You protest, Dochnani? Chamberlain protested, France protested, the Czechs protested. For 20 years, Hitler has thrived on protests, and we go on protesting, while this monster walks among us.
A decision has to be reached.
I am arguing for a civilized solution, as originally planned. Hitler must be imprisoned and put on trial before the world.
A civilized solution is no longer practical, Dr. Goodyear. By now, Hitler's too well guarded. To capture him would be practically impossible. Besides, it's too late for half measures. A bold and courageous act is necessary to rally our country back to its senses.
What makes you so sure that assassination is feasible?
I'm not sure, but it must be attempted, and I am prepared to attempt it. When this war is lost, every German will be an anti-Nazi. We must prove to the world now, gentlemen, that there are Germans who recognize that a monster is at large, and we're willing to risk our lives to destroy him.
Do you wish to take cover?
Another false alarm.
The last time I heard that was in Cologne. There's very little left of Cologne. A spectacle never to be witnessed by mortal man. The bombing of Berlin. Does anyone hold Adolf Hitler's life more precious than all those now dying in Berlin?
What is the plan?
We will make preparations for taking over the key centers. The armed forces, the industries. On Treschkow, you will organize the actual attempt. When, where, and how is up to you. When you are ready, alert Olbricht the spark is about to be struck. Nothing more. Gentlemen, Operation Spark.
Major General von Treschkow and his aide, Fabian von Schlabrendorf, returned that night to Smolensk, where they were on the staff of Field Marshal Gunther von Kluge at the Army Group Center, Russian sector.
Where, when, how? The big questions, Fabian.
Especially how?
This must not be construed as an assassination. This is to be a military execution. Another hospital train. It's out of the question to make the attempt at the Rauschenberg headquarters.
Wouldn't stand a chance. The place is swarming with SS.
We've got to get him on our own grounds. I can rely on Berselager to provide a firing squad at Smolensk. His cavalrymen are as loyal to him as the SS is to Hitler.
You really think Hitler will oblige us by coming to Smolensk?
We'll get von Kluge to request a conference and inspection of the base.
How can we be sure he'll cooperate?
When I finish with him, the field marshal will have no choice.
How was it in Berlin? I hear there was a raid while you were there.
Yes, a bad one. Unfortunately, the Fuhrer was not in the city at the time.
It's an odd remark, Treschkow.
Oh, I don't know. Think if they'd dropped one with his name on it. All the trouble it would have saved everybody.
Do you realize the consequences if that man repeated what you just said?
Of course. I thought it might give you an incentive to hasten the end of a regime where a field marshal is afraid of his own orderly, where a chief of staff has to hold a political discussion in his wife's bedroom because the Gestapo's hidden a microphone in his study.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
On the way down from Berlin, our train was sidetracked a dozen times.
That will be all, Schweik.
Yes, sir.
Sidetracked a dozen times to let hospital trains come through.
I am aware of the casualty figures.
So am I. But I'll never get used to them. Maybe because I'm only a stockbroker in uniform, I suppose.
I don't know what your point is. But if you're in one of your lecturing moods...
My point is that to me, a dozen hospital trains are not casualty figures. Not merely casualty figures. They're filled with maimed human beings.
I never suspected you of such sensitivity, von Treschkow. When you accepted your commission, I assumed you knew that wars are fought with men.
To destroy the enemy, not the fatherland. When that happens, it's an officer's duty to stop it.
What are you driving at?
This war must be stopped while we can still make terms that will leave us something.
That is defeatist.
Oh, Gunther.
Then why do you come to me? Only the Fuhrer can make decisions of that nature.
And he'll leave all of Europe in ruins first. Gunther, do I have to remind you of our history? Bismarck knew it. Ludendorff. Von Hindenburg knew it. A German officer's first duty is to the fatherland, not to the ruler. That is patriotism, Gunther, not defeatism. Deutschland über alles. Alles, including Hitler.
I suppose it is too much to expect a stockbroker to appreciate the significance of an officer's oath.
Are you quite sure that an officer's oath, yours I mean, Gunther, is so unassailable?
What do you mean?
A birthday gift, my dear Field Marshal, for 125,000 marks. You can make improvements on your estates. Shall I read on, Gunther? You received a total of 250,000 marks as a token of friendship in Hitler's own handwriting.
That was a private communication. You had no right.
That check was seen by a number of people. You're not the only officer to have received tangible birthday greetings from Hitler. But you are the only one who seemed to feel that it wasn't dishonorable to accept. The rest sent back their checks. They recognized a bribe when they saw it.
Are you trying to blackmail me, Henning?
On the contrary, I'm trying to protect you as a friend.
A friend?
Of course. Eventually, everybody's going to know about this bribe. I hate to see you disgraced. However, you could justify your action. If, for example, you could show that you only accepted in order to maintain your position so that you could take action against Hitler.
What action?
Oh, don't be alarmed, Field Marshal. I'm not asking you to pull the trigger, only to set up the target.
The golden age of television will continue in a moment.
Well, there just might be something to it.
Ben Randall, commenting on Time Life's popular series, Mysteries of the Unknown.
I've always been a little curious about unexplained phenomena.
Because of personal experiences?
What do you mean?
Well, like, for example, can you sense when something's about to happen?
Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone's a little psyched.
Officer's brief, Berzlager?
Brief, primed, and coming into position. Quite a reception committee. 2 troop carriers, 3 heavy machine guns, and enough grenades to quell a rebellion.
Good.
General Albrecht, the spark is about to be struck.
Is von Kluge coming?
Von Kluge is keeping to his quarters until after the event.
What's happened, Von Kluge.
Treschkow. I'll transmit your orders. Berzlager, recall your men. Von Kluge has just ordered your unit into the front lines as of now. Ulbricht, Berlin, priority. Hitler just canceled his visit.
Do you know what this means, Treschkow? Do you realize the meaning of this sudden cancellation?
It could have several meanings. Hitler's busy. He's also afraid of his own shadow. Abrupt changes of plans are a normal precaution. He'll be here in a day or two.
It can have only one meaning. The Gestapo has gotten wind of your plot.
Gunther, when you lose your temper, you also lose your judgment. If they'd suspected a plot, that first call from Rauschenberg would not have been to advise you that Hitler had canceled his flight. It would have been to the SS to arrest us. All is not lost, Gunther. We live to fight another day. You might give Berselager that same chance.
My orders to Berselager stand. And let me warn you, Treshkow, I will have nothing more to do with your suicidal schemes.
Gunther, the worth of a man is his convictions and the courage to die for them. Which do you lack?
A few days later, as von Treschkow had foreseen, Hitler arrived at the Smolensk base. Von Kluge was visibly tense as he left the car with Hitler and marched to his quarters. He did not know what to expect. Had von Treschkow the audacity to carry out the same plan? Or had he switched to something else? All the next day, Hitler and his generals pored over a map of the Russian sector. Meanwhile, a handmade bomb, approximately the shape and size of 2 bottles of brandy, lay locked in Treschkow's desk.
O'Brien, how's our old friend General Steve?
Oh, he's busier than a one-arm He's very busy.
Well, I have something that may relieve the strain of his overwork.
Ah, something in the bottle?
Cognac, 1868. Liberated from the High Commissar's cellar.
Oh, that makes it so much better. Tell me, Treshkow, that cellar didn't happen to have a bottle in it for me, did it?
Oh, come now, Brandt. You're the type that chases brandy with beer.
Is there a better way? I'll be glad to take it to Steve.
Thanks. By the way, be sure he gets it. He's expecting it.
As Hitler was leaving, after delivering a lesson in strategy and generally restoring the morale of the Smolensk base, von Kluge was still obsessed with one fear. Was this the moment von Treschkow had chosen to strike? Adolf Hitler started his return trip to his headquarters at Rastenburg, East Prussia.
I forgot the cognac for Steve.
Oh, you better hurry it up or he'll go thirsty.
It's in my desk. Get it. Meet us at the airport.
Yes, sir.
Major? The colonel lift to the airfield.
Yes, sir. They had not forgotten the package. It was planned this way so that Schlabrendorf would have the opportunity to start the half-hour fuse before leaving for the airfield. To do this, he had to be alone. It was a tricky operation. He had to unwrap the package and break a glass tube inside, thus releasing an acid which would slowly consume a wire holding back the striker. Before he had untied the string, he was interrupted.
Colonel von Schlabrendorf. Major, does it take all night to pick up a package?
You're in a hurry, Major, huh?
Aren't you aware that all vehicles accompanying the Fuhrer in enemy territory travel in convoy?
You're right. We better go. The SS officer's sudden appearance had jeopardized the entire plan. There was no chance now to unwrap the package. Somehow, sitting in the back of the speeding car, under the SS man's eye, von Schlabrendorf had to break the glass tube inside the package without tearing the outer wrapping. He tried with his fingers, then with a latchkey.
seems to be the difficulty, Colonel.
What? Your package seems to be giving you some difficulty. What do you have there?
The trouble is with these Russian roads. If your driver knew what I had in here, he'd be more careful. Schnapps.
If you wish Colonel Brandt to have that package.
I do. I do not wish the bottles to fall out.
Colonel Labrador, hurry it up, please.
Something wrong?
The wrappings were coming undone. Oh, handle it carefully, Colonel.
If you are ready, Colonel Brandt.
Heil Hitler!
Did you set the fuse?
Finally, he was called Berlin.
Delighted to see you recognize discretion to be the better part of valor, Treshkow. I hope you would. I will admit I had little appetite for luncheon with our Fuhrer. So a bowl of caviar and a cold bottle might be in order a little later if you'd like to join me. Say half an hour.
Delighted, Colonel.
We are all opportunists, von Treshkow. Even stockbrokers. Especially stockbrokers. And lawyers, of course. Yes, it's a nice piece, but not with the attention you've been lavishing on it for the last hour, von Treshkow. Am I boring you, gentlemen?
On the contrary.
Good. Good. My point is this. The loudest critics of Hitler fell silent after our victories in France. Why argue with success? Just put it down. My conviction, if you will allow me the use of the word, Treshkow, is that opposition to Nazism from within our ranks was always due more to the belief that Hitler would lose than to any moral objection to the war itself or even to his method of waging it. Arrival report, Hitler landed at Rastenburg 21:15.
General Albrecht, the spark failed to ignite. I repeat, failed.
I thought Kluger seemed too pleased with himself.
I suppose he's just waiting for our arrest.
Somehow I doubt it. I can't see him being that convivial with two members of his staff about to be arrested for an attempt on Hitler's life. If he betrayed us, on the other hand, I've got to find out. Rastenburg, Colonel Brandt, urgent. If that package didn't go off, we've got to get it before he gives it to Stief, somehow. Hello, Brandt. Treshkow. Did you give that package to Stief? Good. No, Schlabrendorf gave you the wrong package. No. Keep it there. I've got to go up to Berlin. I'll stop off at Rastenburg and pick it up. Heil Hitler. He says Stief is off the base. This may be a trap, but I've got to find out. Dig me up 2 bottles of cognac right away.
Well, here you are, Treshkow. And I was able to withstand temptation. By the way, what is it?
Soap.
Well, I want to thank you, Treshkow. Good bar of soap's harder to come by than schnapps, even on this base. I'll share it with you.
I think not. Why do you think I took all the trouble stopping off here? Let's have it, Brandt. I've got to catch the Berlin sleeper at Kirchen.
All right. Treshkow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm sorry. Heil Hitler!
Heil Hitler.
Major General von Treshkow is at this moment on his way to Kirchen Junction to catch the Berlin sleeper. He has a package in his dispatch case. I want to see if it contains soap that can make a hole like this. Be very careful how you handle this. It might just be soap.
Excuse me, General,
Are you looking for something, Lieutenant?
Nothing, General. My apologies. I must have the wrong compartment.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get some sleep.
Thus ended the first attempt at the assassination of Adolf Hitler by the generals of his command. A year later, another attempt was made. It too failed at terrible cost. On Hitler's orders, most of the conspirators were strung up like cattle on meat hooks. But von Treschkow was not among these. His last words to his friend and comrade von Schlabrendorf were the words he had used to taunt von Kluge. The worth of a man, he said, is his convictions and his courage to die for them. And he walked away alone into an open field and pulled the pin of a grenade.
Next on A&E, a young student evolves from protester to violent radical in The Revolutionary, starring John Voight and Robert Duvall.
I'm Bob Knoll. My